Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the PDR Workshop live show. We have Davo from Dentless Touch. Wow, crazy.
Still crazy, right?
So crazy, yeah. With the Windy City shirt on.
Throwback. It's vintage now.
There you go. And Chris, Dentless Touch, we are here. Actually, you are joining us in this show. Kudos to you. You are looking to excel your business to the next level. I don't even know if it's the next level. It's just you're doing something different. You want to grow, right, Dave? At
Yeah,
least that's what I think.
you're taking the time to invest into yourself and your business. I think that's
Yeah, growth,
yeah.
scaling up, all that good stuff. All right, so I think there's a storm coming through. Dave says no. So if we cut out, it's because we lose power. So just to let you know, guys. All right, so I want to thank our sponsors, Blehm Tools, Dentcraft Tools, and Mobile Tech RX. We'll be looking into Mobile Tech RX during this show off of some of our legal documents here. So if you have your phone near you, keep it open, and we're going to be going through some Mobile Tech RX features when it comes to hiring. So, all right, you have any tools, Dave?
I do not.
It has been a uh, crazy afternoon, man, evening with the hail cars. We actually completed 4 hail cars as a team
Yeah.
today.
They
Almost
just
five,
start they just
actually.
start running together. So
Yeah, almost 5 hail cars as a team.
wow.
Insane. Yeah,
And they
definitely.
yeah, and they're not like onesie twosies. These are full blown like every
Yeah,
panel hit hail
yeah. Every
cars.
pan, yeah. A little light, but not still. Every
Yeah.
panel needed to be touched.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, let me show you what I have. I've actually been doing quite well with this tool, and I didn't like it at first. It's the VIP, I guess the interchangeable tips now he has instead of just the VIP knockdown.
Yeah.
So it's the VIP tips. I got this from one of the viewers. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. I was actually trying to look back and see who did. I think it was Jonathan that may have sent this to me. But anyway, I he didn't like them, so I bought them from him, and I didn't like them, so I kind of just stuffed them in my bag. And I don't know, I was just playing around and doing on my knockdown. And I said, I need to learn this. Everybody keeps talking about it. Dave loves the VIP knockdown.
Yeah.
So I said, let's just try it. And man, it stays on my knockdown
You're welcome.
now. So the one thing I was having an issue is I when I use the knockdown, I kind of hit a little harder than probably most. And so you need to hit this very, very light. So if you're a guy with like blending, at least for me, I use a heavier blending hammer. You have to hit this super, super light. So like the wooden shaft of like the what is it, the big
Craftsman.
craftsman hammer is probably best, and just little light blows. If you're leaving marks, it's because you're hitting too hard. So anyway, check that out, guys. I don't know if you can just get the tips, but if you're looking for a great metal knockdown, uh, this is kind of stole my heart right now. So
I thoroughly enjoy all versions of the VIP. So if you get your hands on any of them, I highly recommend. That's the metal knockdown that I've gone to since it came out.
I
That's the one I've gone to.
I think we gave it to all the guys now. So or they're on order. So that's how it is, guys. VIP knockdown. So kudos to him. Sorry I didn't give you the chance at first. They stayed in my bag for a couple months, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. So hiring your first employee, Dave. Ah man.
I had my struggles.
I think we all had those struggles though. What would you say was biggest struggle before you hired your employee? What was going through your
Finding
mind?
one.
Okay, okay, yeah. So how did you pick? What was his name?
Kyle.
Kyle. Okay.
Yeah,
How did you
Kyle.
pick Kyle?
I actually was doing work for a performance shop, and he was the porter or helper there. And the owner of that shop was a really good buddy of mine. And I saw the way that this kid worked, and I loved his work ethic. I mean, I know my buddy ran him into the ground, and I said, man, I wish I could clone you. I wish I could find someone just like you know, who's willing to work and put in the hours and do what it takes to just get everything done. Cause that's what my buddy was building his business at the time as well, and was putting in those same blood, sweat, and tears as we do. Uh, you know, sun up to sundown, weekends, long nights, long days, long nights. And this kid was there with him by his side. Well, the shop ended up not working, and the kid Kyle had hit me up probably a couple months after that shop closed and said, hey, I know you had offered, you know, back in the day, I don't know if it's still up for
Nice.
grabs,
Yeah.
but I'm, you know, I'm going to school, but I'm looking, you know, to, you offered it and I'm trying to take it. So I kind of said, all right, yeah, that's no problem. I think he was just going into like his fall semester or something. So I decided to say, hey, just finish that, focus on that, and then we'll talk come springtime. So I was able to reach out back to him around spring, and we worked out a schedule where he would come to my house and he would run my route with me. And that's kind of how that's.
What intrigued the feeling I would get if the gentleman calls me again after a few months and says, "Hey, is that still on the table?" That would probably kind of entice me to kind of lead me into his. I'm getting losing my train of thought here, but
He,
he would it would basically intrigue me that he would want to work for you. It's kind of a different feeling from anything else. You never had someone kind of approach you for a
yeah,
job like in your own company.
yeah,
So it
it was
kind
like a
of
cool
yeah,
feeling. And I was like, oh, wow, like I'm finally going to like find someone who has as much passion as me, who's going to work just as hard as me. Who, you know, I wanted him before because I saw his work ethic, and I now have a chance. I got him.
right.
And now he's here. So now it's time to work. And it didn't work like that. It did
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
The skill of PDR was not for Kyle.
yeah. And was not for everybody,
And I don't
right?
know if it was the age. I don't know if it was maybe seeing how easy it was watching me do it and thinking that it was going to just transfer over to him as well. But the training in the garage on a hood while I go run a route,
Yeah,
that
didn't
really
work
wasn't
out, huh?
working. Even me staying and us staying later, uh, the consistency was just not there with him. I could see the frustration come through really, really quick.
Yeah,
And it was really just that was kind of his downfall, not really trying to push through it. Um, Messing up and getting frustrated and stopping and waiting for me to kind of come behind him and coddle and baby and clean it up for him instead of just trying to get through it himself. So it was kind of it was a 3 month, almost 4 month long process for me to finally come to terms with letting him go. And it was, I mean, me and you, you know,
yeah,
I think that me and me and Chris had conversations, and I think it was probably like a month before I actually let him go, because you just let him go. He's done. No, he's not gonna work. He's not gonna work. And I'm like, no, it's fine. We're gonna keep pushing, keep pushing. And
no,
honestly, you know, slow to hire, quick to fire. And
that's the motto.
I really should have let him go a little bit earlier than I did. One, because for me, I looked at it. It was an experience, and it was definitely lesson learned just working with him. But it was also a waste of money on
Yeah,
my
and
part.
makes it waste of time a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. It did.
Yeah,
It did kind of slow things down a little bit.
'cause you're investing into him, and you're hoping to get some type of a reward at the end of that, whether it
Yeah,
be a long term thing or you
and
want
so
your money back.
yeah, and so I mean, like I was paying him to train and slow me down at work. Like it just didn't really add up, and
Yeah,
that was just me really trying to like hope and wish that he's just gonna get it one day, and he's
yeah,
like he's gonna just live for Windy City Debt Repair. Like this is what he's gonna do. He's 20 years old, and for 20 years, this is what he's gonna be doing. So that was my hope. That
yeah,
was my
yeah.
dream. It just didn't really work out that way. So
I think you saw a little bit of you into him, and so I know at your age, when you were probably his age, you had a lot more responsibilities,
Yeah.
and you were really guided and directed, or clear. You were clear headed of your vision, I would say.
Yeah, at 20 years old, I just wanted
Yeah,
to make a lot of money. I mean, it's like
right,
not
right,
really like there weren't
right.
like I wouldn't say like goals per se, but definitely just like go
And
make
just the
money.
PDR kind of fell in your lap a little bit,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
just basically maximize whatever chance you get, and
Yeah.
you think someone would do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, right? Someone gives you a career opportunity for a trade,
Yeah.
you're gonna get paid to learn. I mean, let's do it. I'm gonna maximize. Same, I can relate. I
He
definitely
came
can relate.
actually to one of our workshops.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he was here
You
on the
flew them
East
down,
Coast.
right?
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
mean, I spent time with him and I invested in him. And it just didn't work. So
yeah,
kind of some of the things that we want to talk about today on the show is what you should either do or watch for or look for or
yeah. So
take into account when you are hiring your first employee.
I think we broke it down in a little like mini segments here. We're gonna talk about who to hire first. The position. We're gonna talk about choosing the right person, the pay structure, and we're going to talk about training. Uh, I think that is super important. I didn't know how much important that was until probably like my third guy, my third. I mean, on Instagram, it was actually Tim.
Mm.
A lot of stuff had to be written down, and I hate writing down stuff. So, oh man, that killed me. But it allowed me to document everything though. So I
And
have
a learning
all
experience
of the
nonetheless.
day by day training activities that we did. And we're going to talk about the legal aspect of workers comp, non competes, all that good stuff. So let's get into it. Thank our sponsors one more time, David, if you can.
Mobile Tech RX, Dentcraft Tools, and Blehm Tool Company.
Boom, there we
Thank
go.
you all.
Yes. All right, so who to hire first? You want to go to first, Dave? You want?
Yeah,
You want?
because it's something that I wish I would have did.
Yeah.
Uh, looking for this Kyle guy, just looking for someone to condense for
Push
me.
exactly what you're doing.
Do what I do exactly
Mimic
what I do.
you.
Yeah.
Be a copy
Um,
of you.
and and hearing just advice from others and you and other business owners, body shop owners, stuff like that. Um, the first thing I wish I would have hired just a personal assistant,
Yeah.
like just straight up like a celebrity has, like running around with like 3 phones and a clipboard and like,
And
all
you're
right,
just
what's your
pushing.
next? And I'm just, yeah, like seriously, just a personal assistant,
Yeah.
someone who could do that either remotely, which I just found out that they offer services like that.
Nice.
Um,
What's the name of the service? Do you know
yeah,
real quick?
actually, it is somewhere here.
Yeah, my internet's
I'll get
pretty
that. Yeah, I can show the
okay.
chat, but they do have online personal assistants. But yeah, so just a personal assistant, someone that could take care of the things that when I am pushing, I can just blurt off to them and they can get these certain things done. Talk to the accountant. Hey, can you get this? Can you talk to this person? Can you call them back? Just
Yeah.
yeah, someone to do all of that while I can push. And then that would have allowed me to kind of move a little more freely and do certain things that I needed to do, which would be then hiring that next
Yeah. The
person to
next
actually
tech.
push
Yeah.
dents. Yeah. So
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think the first hire was the same thing. It was just I want someone that can do what I can do, so I can do more of that. And the best combo that I see with a lot of Hale guys, it's they either have their wife or a friend of the family or somebody where they would do the paperwork. It was plenty of actually it was a body man. He said, my wife does the estimates, deals with the insurance companies. She does a little R and I's, but not too much. And then I just push and do, R and I's. And that combination was just was nice. She was able to double his total sales in a year just from that simple small mundane task that she was, well, I won't say small. I mean, she was collecting money, so that was a good thing. But anyway, So, kind of mimic that scenario right there where you hire, at least what I always tell guys is you hire your weakness, whatever. And if you don't know your weakness, it's easy, it's simple. Whatever frustrates you, if it's the phone that frustrates you because you're trying to get work, if it's the door chime going off, if it's the marketing guy that can't get it right because he doesn't know what PDR is, you need to hire someone that is going to be an A player in the field that either stresses you out or gets you frustrated, or something that you clearly know that you're not an A person for that. You're not the
Yeah,
best person for that. So if it's accounting, bookkeeping, tracking your money, then you hire someone to track your money. Maybe they can do stuff a little extra. Maybe they can post on Instagram for you, get a little bit of money in. Maybe they can answer the phone a little bit. Done. She, he or she did the job that you can't do, and they're doing it so much better. It went,
it's such a
yeah,
huge stress reliever having that, having
yeah,
someone able to take the thing that does frustrate you the most off of like that load off of you is huge and really allows you to focus on what you need to do. So I mean,
yeah.
I
So
completely
that's
I
the,
completely agree with that and I
yeah.
wish I would have did that sooner. Um but I think that as technicians, we are really focused on always trying to do a better job with what we automatic like what we already do. And when you start adding these other tasks on as a being a business owner as well, it can become very, very frustrating. It doesn't feel like there's enough hours in the day.
Well, yeah, because you're holding multiple hats. You're wearing multiple hats, I should say, and you're you quit a 40-hour workday to work, 85, 90 hours.
Yeah.
So, and the only way to minimize that is to kind of
Delegate
assign, yeah,
tasks.
yeah, exactly. Man, it's like 9 o'clock, and I just my brain is just like fried. I've been up since 4:30, so I can't even like speak. It's crazy. But you guys see all my flaws and all that stuff, and I'm perfectly happy. No one's perfect, but hey, I'm trying to give the message across. But Dave is killing it over here. What time you wake up, Dave?
I was up this morning, I think at like 6.
Oh man,
But I
maybe
know
my old
you're
age.
already up like an hour and a half before I am.
I'm gonna let stair step.
Yeah, when I wake up, he's pretty much ready to go, shouting, spouting stuff
Good
off, and I'm like,
morning.
okay, 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 okay. And then we get
Yeah,
because I want him to move more in the company and
yeah,
make other decisions while I'm able to be here. And
yeah. We're gonna have a episode. I think dedicated to that, and just what I've noticed in the dynamic of the company and the team, and maybe we can get a little bit of your personality and what you brought to the table, just for the first month being here. So
yeah,
I think that would be great, because it's definitely worth the ounce and gold, which he's like what, 160 pounds. But anyway, so we did the who to hire first, and I'm a stickler about you hire your weakness. Um,
yeah, yeah,
delegate delegate that task
yeah,
to. So if it's an admin or if it's bookkeeping, you can your CP reach out to you. So that's the first thing. It's like a little mini hire, I call it. Get your feet wet, hire a little contractor or something like that, and then someone that works in your shop.
yeah. And I also put in the chat here. It's a company called Alignable.
Okay,
It's for small businesses. They have a whole network of people who will do small business
nice,
tasks for you. So, one of the ones that I was looking into after the fact was a virtual personal assistant. You
nice.
literally spout off everything to her, and she's okay. Dave's got it all done for you today. Wow, cool, thanks. Like, I really wish I would have looked into some other options before. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think choose someone where their strength is your weakness.
Yep.
Your helper as a tech could also be that. So
Yes, of
learning to
course.
R&I on top of learning how to do invoicing and bookkeeping, like that person can be all of that.
Yeah.
Um,
And Tim was a very good R&I person. He had a body shop background. He R&I for like 3 years straight. And he taught me a lot of techniques. So when he left, obviously I was comfortable doing R and I's.
Yeah.
So that
How were
was
you
that was
before
pretty.
him?
I
Uncomfortable?
was yeah. It was crazy. It was yeah. Yeah. I would try to get the body shop to do it. I mean,
I
you
get
guys
cra-
still seen
I get him
doors
doing.
come apart and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, you R and I's. I'm like, nah, not really. I don't R and I. But now it's like, yeah, I'll take it apart. I'll figure out how to put it back together. I just have a little counting system, and you just get good at it.
I still
You
have
know,
found someone else to take it apart for me, whether it be the shop itself or someone on our team. I still refuse.
we're gonna get them up to speed here a little bit.
The removing part of R and I completely fine. It's the the I part, like
I don't think anybody, enjoys that part. Well, unless it's the paycheck afterwards.
negative.
All
Take
right,
it.
so let's talk about choosing the right person. Dave, we've spent tons of conversation, tons of meetings and talks and discussions about choosing the right person. You want to take the lead on this?
Choosing the right person,
Yeah.
that's tough. I yeah. So I think trying to find the perfect person for PDR it feels almost impossible. Um, I feel this person is going to, I think, come off a little weird, a little awkward, a little different.
OCD maybe a little
Yeah,
bit.
something, because I feel we all have like certain things with us that like
Yeah.
we kind of have, and they're all, I guess, similar in the same way. Um, but I don't think that the right person is just going to be, I don't know, like the person that I found wasn't the right person, right? So it's hard for me to speak on choosing the right one because the one that I thought was the right one wasn't the right one.
Well, the easiest way to do it for me is to just kind of write out the responsibilities of this person that you're about to hire. And when you're in the interviewing process, and this is the book Who. I got all of this information from the book Who. It's not over. I don't think it's over here. I think I'm audible. So yeah, so download this book called Who. And anyway, you go through like 2 to 3 interviewing process. And I thought about it. Brad from Dent Masters actually does this also. He hires two at a time. He goes through these long interviewing processes, and most of the guys do survive. Some of them, always wanted to be on their own, and kind of they had,
Ulterior motives.
other motives. But anyway, he's developed a ton of successful techs, to be honest. So, but he has like 2 and 3 hours of interviewing process. So like 1 hour here, then come to the shop. He spends like another hour or two, and then you spend with another guy, and he's really trying to get you warmed up
Where's
and
he finding
comfortable.
them?
Uh, I don't
I mean, are
know.
people just lining up at the door? I mean, it's not
No,
like
I mean,
to be doing
so
2 to 3 hour interview processes. It,
yeah,
to me, seems extreme, but like completely understandable.
yeah, it works
And
though.
if it works, it works. But it's just like,
He
how do you get?
he has a he. I don't know how he get. I mean, I was working at a dealership, and my dad kept pressing him to say, "Hey, my son's looking at getting into something." My dad's always like a visionary, like this is a better career, so it's better. And so anyway, yeah, my dad just called me and said, "Hey, I got your interview doing dance." And he knew I always wanted to be around cars.
Of course.
So he's like, do this before you get into mechanical. I'm like, Dad, I'm literally sitting on a Snap-on truck about to buy like $40,000 in tools. Man, no, 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 try this out first. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
it's my dad. At that point, I listened to him that time. But anyway, so he hired, he jumped, he set me up for the interview, which was at 6 a.m. in the morning, and the interview was about an hour and a half long. This was, 14, 15 years ago. So I'm trying to remember. I'm like, yeah, it was a 6:30 appointment, and we had to spend about an hour and a half of talking. And he gives me a package, and he says, "Drop it off at the UPS, and meet me back here in 15 minutes." And to UPS store, go there and be back in 15 minutes. Well, it was a 4-minute walk, so roughly 10 minutes there and back. And he gave me like a 5-minute buffer. That was back in 12. I said, yeah, it took too long. I kind of had an idea where it was at, but as I was walking, I just made sure I was, was going in the right direction. No problem. Your package is done. Okay, cool. And then that was literally the test.
An actual
Yeah,
test.
that literally was a test. Because if it took me 17 minutes, man, just walking around the block and I just couldn't find it. But I actually asked the guy, and I got here and be like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm not looking to hire right now. If I'm not resourceful, I think that was one of his big quality things, passion, resourceful, and a positive attitude. And they know at least a little bit about cars. Can you drive a stick, kind of thing. But anyway, that is choosing the right person for me. To back up a little bit, I was talking about writing down your responsibilities and the ideal person in that role. And when you spend the 2 to 3 hours in the interview and process with that person, you can really tell if this person is going to be an A player in that role. If you're hiring someone to answer the phone, admin, I mean, honestly, they got to have a nice voice. They got to be pleasant. I mean, you could do crazy things. You could just go drive to the
Take
store.
direction.
Yeah, all kinds of things. I mean, you could just ride with that person, and all of a sudden they're God dang, driving this. They're angry at maybe certain cars or whatever, and you're like, oh, this person's gonna flip off quick on the phone. They're gonna
Yeah.
be, they're gonna be the
No
first one at the
patience.
yeah. So anyway, a long interviewing process, getting them comfortable. Once you have your list of your ideal A player in that role, then just attack it. Another thing that I've been picking up also is that having a crazy pool of people. So what we've been doing recently is just literally posting on Indeed and just getting me and Dave and all the managers just more experience with doing
The
interviews.
actual process
Yeah,
itself
the
of
actual
hiring.
process. I know you'll probably say, man, that's a lot of waste of time, Chris. But when we really need people, when people stand out, we do 20, 30 interviews and someone just is like amazing, then we'll find a place for them. It's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. But, I say always be, if you can just interview one person a month, I think that will help you out. Because when it's time when you really need a guy, you're just going to go with whoever is
Now,
available.
for the techs out there who have a full blown busy schedule,
Yeah.
6 days a week, sun up to sundown, there is no extra time. Like,
Yeah.
what are you saying for them?
Well,
Like,
there's,
Chris, I'd love to, but I have to be at these body shops and dealerships, and I can't steer away from that. I have to be there every day.
yeah,
I
well,
have a full schedule. I don't know if I'm able to actually take the time to hire, or I don't know if that's going to be the right job for me. Or
it's crazy because my dad has a saying, and he doesn't have many sayings, but the one that stuck to me right now is you make time for what you want. And so if you really want a business and not a job,
Mhm.
then you'll make time for that. And then what I always say is it's time to work on the business, not in the business. I mean, I was in the same boat, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
working nonsense. We were up there talking about working for a wholesaler where I would leave, drive an hour and a half, literally get a Red Bull in the car, get to the parking lot, take a 30-minute nap, chug the Red Bull, and then work from roughly around 6 to about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And this was for almost 4 years straight.
yeah.
And I had to hire. When I hired first employee Brian to get his tools. I had the tools sent there because I was never home. So I was like, well, by the time the tools are sent to his shop, I can at least look at them and then issue them out, get
Yeah.
my count and all that stuff. The guy that sold me his car, the truck, he actually met me at the wholesaler too because I had no time to even go buy a vehicle for my technician. So you got to do what you got to do. I mean, now the schedule's a little bit, better now. It's open for me a little bit more.
Yeah.
But for that guy, it's like you can either keep doing what you're doing or you can start doing things that will change over time
Yeah. A
for the
peak
better.
and Peacock Dent says it's hard to find quality, and anyone quality.
I I mean, there's a lot of kids out there that we have, Ryan, he's a young, a young, high school grad. and he's freaking killing it.
He's killing
I
it.
mean, he's freaking killing it. So I
Yeah,
mean, it's crazy because I think he reminds you of you.
a
You were
little
young, it
bit.
reminds me of me for sure. And I'm like, yo, this dude is gonna be crazy when he's
Yeah,
about five,
he's
6 years
killing
in. So you can find his ass for Ryan. I'm like, hey, do you have any friends? He's no. They're normally
it.
the loners, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they're not thinking the same way as their peers.
I know I wasn't.
No, no, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah, I know I wasn't.
So, you know, I won't say
Catching them early,
poach, but
catching them.
hey, I think one of the books that we were just listening to was saying that always just pass out your card and say, hey, if you're looking
Yep.
to for this and that, just give me a call. I mean, it worked for you.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the books that I've read about hiring. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dave. A lot of the books that I read about hiring, it was like you need to always, be passing out your card, looking for candidates to join your team.
Yeah.
So,
I completely agree. I just had this
yeah.
conversation with a good friend of mine. She was event coordinator for Top Golf
Okay.
and
Nice.
coordinated all the events for big corporate companies, and I mean Pepsi, Coca-Cola, just huge events. And I said, man, how do I find someone like you? And she was just kind of giving me a breakdown of how I can find someone like her. So
That's a
um
great thing because if you're, I mean, like-minded individuals pretty much have friends that are the same way, and it's nice to ask someone, I'm like, you know, how did you get into that career? How does someone find you?
kind of
What
like
are
a
you looking?
backhanded
Yeah,
compliment,
what are you looking at when you look at a company?
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
she
that's
was great.
fire.
Like she gave me some great insight, and I know I relate some of the information to you. Um,
But that book, Who said, is the five F's. It's like family, friends, funds, or something like that. It's like the five S that makes people decide to join your team. And because when they're A players, when they're really, really, good guys or girls, they have opportunities,
yeah,
you know, on a regularly basis. So,
yeah,
so you got to kind of encourage them to come join your team.
yeah. And
Um,
so,
I'm sorry.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I just want to talk a little bit about choosing the right person. There's another book called Multipliers, and it talks about. Well, actually, we'll get into the training. Never mind. Sorry, Dave. Or
No,
keep
I
going
was gonna
through.
say once we find these people and you find the people for your team, I feel, and it's kind of our next topic. You need to get a pay structure going.
Yeah, pay structure. Yep. And we're not
Uh,
talking about the price. We're just talking about something that is
feasible for you and
there
your
and
company.
and legal and all kinds of stuff. And feasible for your company, all that good stuff. So if you pay me weekly, monthly, 2 weeks, whatever it is, you need something in writing. They want consistency.
Yeah.
They want that. Now, me personally, I for the first 2 to 3 months when I was doing the payroll myself, the checks were always late. I felt so bad, but there was nothing I can do. By the time I get home, oh my God, it's the 14th, and I got to send out this, send out that, and then boom, checks don't really get sent out until like the 17th. And I'm like, yeah, this is bad on me. So hired to see, call the CPA, say, hey, listen, I have to do payroll. What is the price? I think it was like, I don't know, $300 a quarter.
Yeah.
So definitely worth it. Let them do the payroll. Checks come 5 days, 10 days before they need to be um
Yeah. It's
mailed
just
out. So
one
anyway.
offender. It's no big deal.
That's how Dave looks at things. I'm like 300, 300, 300. All everything just
Yeah, one
adds up,
fender, one
man.
fender, one door, one door.
Then the next thing you do, you're doing a hell card for like your CPA every month.
Yeah, well. Yeah, this is one nail car, one nail car.
Anyway, yeah. So price structure. There's a lot of percentages you can do. There's a lot of draws you can do. Something a little not complicated, but something like a draw.
Yeah.
You could do a training pay, whatever that may be, a flat fee, hourly, commission, whatever
Yeah.
you
There's
need to do.
definitely
So,
multiple ways to
mhm,
go about a pay structure. I
yeah,
think your admin, your HR, they're going to want more of a
salary,
salary
yeah,
type, hourly basis, something like that, hourly or salary.
yep,
Whereas your techs, they're going to be um, more
commission,
commission based.
yeah, maybe a
You
draw or
can do an
something like
hourly, I
that.
think, maybe in the beginning if they're a helper, and then once they actually start pushing something like that or actually start training, you can get them into um, a different sort of structure. And as long as they
Yeah,
know up front, and I don't think that's a huge issue.
Yep. Cool. So just come up with a pay structure, basically, whatever that fits your company. So training. This is what I was talking about. The book Multipliers just talks about, you need to not necessarily train the guys, but coach them. You need to grow them. You need to to make sure that they're at their full potential, which is pretty much right on the edge. Is a saying that I'm going to butcher, but it was like right on the edge of like comfortability and fear, something like that. So anyway, but basically, you want to keep pushing them. You want to give them the responsibilities that you need. You want to give them assignments and tasks that they're gonna knock out of the park, or that they're the best one for it. So, when a little bit about training. Now, training a technician just set it and forget
Uh,
on that one.
100%.
It's been 3 months, and like, all right, he has it. Probably not.
No, there's going to be
So,
something that he's going to come across in his line of work that we most likely have, just because that's just tenure, that's just
yeah,
years. That's just seniority within it. If you're a police officer, your person who's been on 15, 20 years
right,
has been to a lot more calls than your person who's been in 3, 4, 5 years. So
for sure.
they've seen a lot more, dealt with a lot more. They know how to handle certain situations a lot better. So, yeah, it is up to us as senior techs, as management, as teammates on even this youngins team for us to be there and always be consistently walking him through anything, asking has any questions, giving him tips, tricks, and
I'm with you. Keep training. Every
yeah,
day is an opportunity for them to learn, especially when they come to you with questions. So yeah,
yeah,
definitely when you have employees underneath you and you're a leader, that's what you're gonna be doing. It's just answering questions and motivating in a motivational way. I think is the best way to say it. So anyway, legal. This is what we're talking about mobile tech RX, guys. So there's workers' comp. You need to check your state. There's certain requirements when you hire more than one person. So most likely everybody on a um, so like self-employed, it's one if you have uh insurance, and then when you hire that second one, at least for the state of Maryland or Virginia, whatever, it's you gotta actually have workers' comp. So definitely check your state workers' comp commission, or uh, your insurance company will be able to provide that information also to you. So workers' comp, and then the non-compete document. So a non-compete is basically that if they leave your company, they cannot work in an area. They cannot solicit to your customers. They can just not actually do any business around where you are at, because they have probably some proprietary information that you don't want getting out. So in Mobile Tech RX, there, if you following along right here, guys. So if you, it's kind of hard to find. So you have to go to the main screen. You have to go to tutorials, and then after you go to tutorial, is it tutorials? Maybe I'm wrong. What is this thing? Maybe I'm wrong here. Settings. Yeah, so you go to settings, not tutorials, settings, resources, and then legal documents. There's a document in here called non-compete. Let me show you this. Oh, can it focus? So it's like right there, non-compete, if you can see that. Man, and Mobile Tech RX pretty much killed it with this new update. I mean, you
yeah,
have like subcontractors, you have the glue pulling waiver, you have authorization to repair. Sometimes certain customers you might want them to pay
yep,
that. I mean, assign that. You have a subcontractor agreement, and obviously the non-compete. You do have like SEO website options. Certain people who sell websites here, and you do have some OEM position statements. Anyway, yeah. So about scans and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely,
That's a
if
ton of
you dive
information in
deep into
here.
Mobile Tech RX, there's a lot of good resources
Yeah.
within it after this huge update earlier this year. So if you guys haven't really gone into it, or think that it just looks different, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I know they've
It's
been having
crazy.
also webinars on their Facebook group. Um, and stuff like that. So, if you guys don't have Mobile Tech RX for your estimating or your invoicing, I highly recommend it. I know we use it here at Dentless Touch. I used it before. I know many, many technicians worldwide now that are using it
Yeah.
and have not looked back since. So, we highly recommend it here. There are, like we said, within some of the menus there, you can find links to websites and documents. You can get tools or go to tool websites through there. There's different manufacturers. So we highly recommend Mobile Tech RX for any invoicing or estimating. And you can use it for obviously these other things as well.
Yep. Perfect. All right, so that is it. The little bonus feature is going to be things that you can do as a business owner to make sure that this is a successful decision. So I'm a big saver. So the first thing is save. I always like to have at least 6 months of the person's salary in the bank, ready to go, that I don't need to touch. And that seems to work out pretty well because I know I'm gonna have to invest into them. Now I do have a list of, if it's a technician, I do have a list of tools I need to. And I know after another like 2 grand, just because I know what he's gonna want. And then it just spirals from
That's just
there.
tools, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
they should,
just
but
literally
at that point
tools.
too, they should be making a little bit of
A little bit.
money, understanding that, hey, maybe I want this rod or I want to try that one. So they'll buy that, and it's $100, out of their check, which is still probably small for,
Yeah,
still
for
learning and
sure.
stuff like that. But if you start to see that, then you know that these other things that we just previously talked about, who to hire first and choosing your the right person, you're gonna understand like, oh man, this really is the right person. They're
Yeah,
actually taking initiative to invest back into themselves, even with their own money from their own paycheck.
yeah,
Even as the business owner yourself, you don't provide it or however it may be, but
yeah,
if you see that on their own, they're either coming did order one of just the better answer, the better
yeah, yeah,
response, but
yeah,
you're gonna know that these things really worked for you. So
yep.
you'll really start to see some of these things. I know I haven't, or I didn't with the one guy that I hired. That didn't work out, and there wasn't, not that there was an option for number two. It just, I ended up here
Yeah.
now. So here we
Hey,
are.
and we love them.
So
Yeah, and so the other things you can do is spend some time when you maybe some toilet time, whatever you have, 5-10 minutes a day, and just work out your first day of training. If it's an admin person, then your first probably your first week of training, but just go day by day. It's gonna be so much easier when you're ready to hire that person because you know you have a checklist, you know what you want to teach that person, you know the responsibilities, and you know the platform that you use, so you can just map out what you need to do. And you should be able to take like the 2 to 3, 4 days off to get that person up to speed even quicker because you've pretty much mapped this whole thing out. And so if a technician is training, just map out the first day of training, the first week of training. Just have things that you need to teach this guy the first week of training. And maybe write a list probably about 4 weeks in, and that will help you out so much. But once he's there and he's looking at you, you can be, well, we can learn QuickBooks, you can learn Mobile Tech RX, and he's just, for me, is scatterbrain. You probably guys can probably tell a little bit about that. I just jump all over the place. But so yeah, writing this stuff down for me, if you're anything like me, if you have this ADHD, you'll see much benefits from writing down things and preparing for it. So anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so.
I think that's it. So again, we went over who you hire first, which is basically you hire the opposing strength. That's probably easy to remember. Choosing the right person, probably passionate, and maybe create a little test to see their resourcefulness and other little things that you need for quality. Also, long interviews is really, really good. So that's, slow to hire, quick to fire. That's a really good motto to stay by. So pay structure, get that locked in, get some documents so they can sign and it's all written down. No one's guessing. And then training and then the legalities of things. So all right, that's it. We want to thank our sponsors, Blehm Tools. I got an order of Blehm coming, so I am going to be sharing it on our show.
Perfect.
Dentcraft, I have an order coming from Dentcraft.
Even better.
Have yeah, it's yeah, because I think you wanted some VIPs and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
and then Mobile Tech RX, all of these guys allow us to keep the show going, and we appreciate all the support. Also, you guys for watching. Again, if you're watching this channel, I mean this show, you at least want ready to take your business to the next level. I feel like everybody, if you're watching this show, go ahead and pull the trigger. Do it once. Contact me and Dave if you have any questions. We'll be more than happy to give you some guidance. We know some of these shows are going to have a low watch count because we're not talking about the things that,
Tools and
tools and all that
the
good stuff. But
latest and greatest.
I would love to see businesses grow, especially a PDR business grow, and we can link up and just talk. It was funny because I was telling Dave, I was like, man, it'd be nice if there was a bunch of like 10 employees, 15 employee like businesses for PDR. And just do PDR and maybe not all wholesale, but it's like there's no one like
It's
always
tough.
like
It's
one or two
definitely tough.
people. So if I can help anybody grow,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can help me grow. And that's just how it works. The networking, that's
Yeah.
just how it works.
I agree. If you guys do have any questions for myself, you can reach me at dave.o@dentlesstouch or dentlesstouch_Manassas_VA. So I think those will be in the description down below. So if you guys need anything, please just give me a shout either on Instagram with that or my email.
Perfect. Guys, we appreciate you for joining our show. And don't forget, we have a podcast.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, this is Unscripted. So check us out on all the podcast networks. And on your way out, please give us a thumbs up. We'll greatly appreciate it, guys. See you guys on the next Monday show. Enjoy your evening and see you next week. Peace.